Roll 6, scene 1, take 1, good film hunting.
There we go. Right,
We've
so
done
welcome everyone to another episode of Good Film Hunting. Rebecca has decided she doesn't want to take part now, and she's just going to be doing this all the way through. So this is the first video episode that we've done, purely for the fact I have a face for radio.
and me.
So I think best thing to start off with is talking about the current situation. Obviously, everyone isolating at home. But before we do that, obviously, I've got, I keep forgetting it's mirrored. So this side of me, I've got Harry, who's joining us from his bedroom. And our guests at this time, we've got Rebecca and Danny, who are part of Harry's little cohort. We're in the film. Oh, hang on. I've gone because apparently Adobe Flash Player has an update.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
They always find the most inappropriate times to tell you. They never get you anywhere else.
Have an update waiting. You could have told me this before we started recording. So Beck, Danny and Harry, they did Thinking Back, which is the film we'll be talking about a bit later after the main segment. We're doing this on Zoom, and there's more than 3 of us. So within 40 minutes, we're going to have to stop and start again because you only get 40 minutes. So this is going to be fun and interesting. So
well, I hope we get a timer. I hope there's a timer to let us know. You will be cut off in 5 seconds.
Instead of me just going, where they all gone?
I think they've gone.
Yeah, so I think the first thing we should do is we'll ask about what films we're watching, and then we could talk about a situation where films have been delayed releases. Just talk about which films you were looking forward to watch and then got to wait for now. So we'll start with Harry. What have you been watching during lockdown?
Well, if anything, like I've been watching a lot of TV because obviously it's what's on. I've got into House MD, so that's the Hugh Laurie series because that's on Amazon Prime, and me and Mum are loving that at the minute. It's really great. It's very witty and it's quite clever. I like that. I've just finished 13 Reasons Why, the final series, and I don't want to say I'm disappointed, but I'm just kind of like, you know, after the first series of what it became and the phenomenon it was, the second series, while it was good because it followed on from what was a great series, third suddenly became like Hollyoaks. It was kind of like, you know, well, yeah, it kind of did. It was like Hollyoaks. It was teenagers getting involved in murder. It's like, it's just pointless. It was like...
It is a TV show, Harry. Like, it's meant to be entertaining.
But I get that, but for me, like, it just didn't match what the series was. It kind of just went from, you know, like a very serious show about suicide and mental health and so forth to, and it with young people suddenly to, oh, it's a murder mystery. It's kind of like, oh, okay, so we took that turn. But in this last series, it's more about back to sort of the roots of mental health and young people, and I do admire that, and there's a lot of good bits, but it kind of has become very almost cheesy in a way, or it's not as interesting as it once was. So that's kind of how I feel about that. In terms of films, I've watched. I got Le Mans 66, 1917, Little Women. I've been watching them, and they're just fantastic. I love all of them, and I always keep recommending it to so many people. And I've watched Booksmart like too many times since Nathan's recommendation in the last episode. I've been just watching it over and over again because it's just so funny. It's just so brilliant. Like me and Becca, we've done a TikTok of that scene where I think the sat on like a picnic blanket, and she's like, name one person whose life was so much better that they broke a couple of rules.
Okay, is it Rosa Parks first and then Susan Bianchi?
Yes, Picasso. That's he broke our rules. Name a person that broke a rule. So yeah. Hang on.
Yeah. I don't know that you're not. No point. I don't know the words. I don't want to embarrass you.
All you have to say is Picasso. Rosa Parks and Susan Bianchi. That's all you got to say.
Absolutely not.
All right. We'll move on to the actress, Danny.
I write things. I don't read them. I'll speak them.
Well, anyway, it's basically the scene. It's basically the scene where they're debating about people breaking rules, and me and Becca did a TikTok of that because that's another thing I've been doing. I've been creating a few TikToks, and you can sort of see from my very first one to near my last one, you can see the evolution of a beard forming and then it going away because I grew it out and now I've shaved it again because I don't need it anymore. It didn't grow how I wanted. I wanted like the Chris Evans from Infinity War, but that's not how it turned out, unfortunately.
I try. I'll get like I call it the shaggy because I feel like I should be after a great day. you've got the Shaggy there, and then nothing grows there. I mean, I'm going to start looking like a really bad Bond villain soon. It's like, oh, I was expecting nothing grows there. But I'm one of those who says I would never touch a TikTok in my life, and then all of a sudden.
Oh my God, they're brilliant!
I know.
I used to think that, Tom, but then I got it during the lockdown when we were in lockdown, and because I wasn't doing any creative stuff because I wasn't writing anything at the time, and obviously there's no films to be made, so I kind of just created my own little world of TikToks where each one got funnier and funnier. But and my mates have said later on that like the newer ones are not as good as the classics, and I'm just kind of like I can't recreate that because I can't think of anything funny anymore. Like,
well, I downloaded it to alleviate the boredom while I'm waiting between calls at work, and I got embarrassed. So what I used to do is I used to put them on private, so only I could watch them. And then one day I forgot, and it went public, and I was like, "Oh no!" So I was like, "Oh, people actually like this." So I was like, carried on, and then I just can't be arsed anymore. I only did like movie-related ones as well. So there's an Austin Powers one where I'm like, so the tables have turned again, Dr. Evil, and I'm there going, kill the bastard, see if I can.
It seems the tables have turned again, Dr. Evil.
Not really. Kill the little bastard, see what I care.
Enjoy my film career while it lasts. We'll move to Danny. What have you been watching during lockdown?
Oh my God, so everything. Like, I've been watching a lot of shows. I'm watching 13 Reasons Why at the minute, and it's like, I kind of agree with Harry, I don't have a clue what's going on. I'm like, but yeah, I'm trying to get through that. Ozark's really good. I started Ozark, and that is incredible, and the acting is amazing. If you haven't watched it, you need to watch it. It's so good. I'm watching The Man in the High Castle. I'm watching quite a lot at the minute, but I'm trying to space it out. Like so like if one day I fancy watching that, I'll watch that. Then a different day I'll watch Ozark or whatever.
I don't work like that. I can't work like that.
Can't you? Oh, I love it.
No, I'm one of those people that if I commit myself to a series, I've got to go from beginning to end. I can't just like go in. But like there's some shows where if I've watched it numerous times, like Community or Doctor Who or something, I'll go in the middle if I just feel like chilling. But if there's a series that I'm in, I can't just like start, say, Ozark one day and then 13 Reasons Why and have multiple starts. I've got to finish one and then move on to the next. That's usually how I
watched 13 Reasons Why seasons 4 all in one day, so I didn't have the opportunity to go between different series. I just got up, watched them all in one day.
Yeah. Well, I usually used to do that, but because like we've had like 11 weeks of lockdown, I thought I might as well just space it out a bit because I'm not going to be going back to work anytime soon. So I was like, right, okay, I'm just going to watch this one day, and then, well, sometimes it's in the same day. Like I'll switch depending on what mood I'm in, and a bit weird to me. I'm really, really weird. I never used to be like that. I used to have to binge watch one show, but I've just thought, well, I've got all this time to kill. I might as well watch about 8 at once.
Yeah.
Then I'm going back to work next month, so I need to get into a routine. I'm like, not prepared. But yeah, I'm watching a few shows. Well, about 2 or 3 shows at once, so it's not too bad. And I'm on a Marvel hype at the minute, so I'm watching all the Marvel films in order. Then I'm going to do Lord of the Rings because I'm like a massive fan of Lord of the Rings. I love Lord of the Rings. Proper massive fan. I've been watching their Zoom calls and they're proper cracking me up. I'm just like, I love watching it.
I love that. I haven't watched the full video, but I've watched the clips, and it's just funny to see Sean Bean go, "One does simply not walk into Mordor." Just seeing them all react to each other, it's brilliant. That's what I love.
I'm just interested to see how
Jack's actually watching it right now.
Of course he is.
I just want to see how they kill Sean Bean off on a Zoom call. That'd
be they'll just go boom like that.
Just leave chat.
I love Sean Bean.
I love that Yorkshire tea advert he's done. Have you seen it? Where he's like, he steps into an office and he's like, "Morning all, brothers, sisters. Today a great legacy rests upon your shoulders. Because here we don't just make tea, we make proper brews. Brews that bring a tear to your eye and a warmth to your soul. So go out there and do it for yourselves and do it for each other, but most of all, do it for Yorkshire."
By the way, the fire drills
Thursday at 3.
Rebecca,
I've watched it too many times. Yeah, Becca, what are you watching?
Well, obviously I watched 13 Reasons Why, and I'm not going to go into a rant about
don't.
why it's wrong. But I will say the first series was really dramatic and all about mental health and suicide, and everyone complained that it was too graphic and too realistic. And then when they turned it into we've lost Danny.
Danny's gone.
Have we lost Danny?
Bye. When they turned it into like a
Had enough.
a drama and murder mystery, everyone complained that it wasn't realistic. And it's like, well, you can either have someone killing themselves, sorry to darken the mood, or you can have someone killing someone else. You can't, So so I watched that. I haven't really been watching any films. I've finished watching Suits, which I started watching ages ago. Well aware that finished ages ago, and I just hadn't got around to watching it. So I watched that. I watched Line of Duty because I never watched that when it came out.
Mum loves it. A lot of people I know watch it and love it.
Fantastic, really good. I mean, I watched the first series on my own, and then by series 2, I was like, "Oh, Kieran, you might want to watch this." And then we just like kind of binged all of that, and we've just started watching Bodyguard. So I think we watched episode 4 last night.
Oh, that's a good series.
I know what happens because I watch Gogglebox, and it always shows you what happens.
Oh, yeah.
It's a bit of a spoiler.
It's why you can't watch. It's why you can't watch Gogglebox, because it kind of can spoil your shows.
Well, I don't usually watch like TV dramas. I either watch Netflix stuff or films, but because we've had loads of time, when I'm not working, I've started watching, like BBC dramas and watched Killing Eve and all of that. So now I know what happens.
Have you watched Normal People?
I have not watched Normal People.
It's so good. Like it's like, honestly, if for those that have watched Thinking Back, or that love a bit of romance, or the realistic kind of romances, it's just so, the writing is beautiful, the directing is, in the first, in all of it, is fantastic, the way it's shot, and the characters, you just you're screaming at the television, and just come on, and at the end of every episode you just want to see the next one. They're only
You've surprised me. You've surprised me, Harry, because I saw something on, I hate to admit, I was watching Loose Women, and they were talking about it, and apparently it's quite raunchy.
Oh, yeah.
Which shocks me that you... Well, no, Harry was the guy who couldn't say sex out loud really loud. When I first met him, he'd have to whisper it, and now he's watching people do it. So yeah, I mean, I'm surprised.
I can say sex without saying quiet. I've matured.
Yeah, you've grown up. But yeah, so
I just saw it on Miranda and thought it was funny just to go like that. but now I can't say it without. I find myself doing it on occasion, but no, I'm not
I blame me because I made you watch 50 Shades, so I think it's probably my fault.
Yeah, I watched all of them because of you.
But
for this, can I say viewers? For the viewers, it's for the story. That's why I watched it. I watched it for the story. Like, everyone says, "Oh, it's porn. It's porn." It's like, no, there's actually a story behind it. So, just get with it. But,
story. Yeah. I should have read the books.
Oh dear.
But no. What the thing is though, Becca's right. When she obviously knows me, I'm not a fan of horror. I don't like scares and thing, and obviously I could never say the word sex before. But I'm not interested in normal people because of the raunchiness. I was interested because of the actual story, and I love that when these two characters who clearly do love each other but can't admit it, and you just want to force them together because they would be perfect for each other, and that's kind of how the show progresses. And you sort of see them grow up and go to uni and stuff, and it's just great, and that's why I recommend it. But I have been getting easier in terms of a lot of this sex stuff and horror and things like that. I've been easing into it a bit more. So I could say I don't think I could have watched Silence of the Lambs when I was a kid. I probably couldn't have done that. But that's not really scary though. That's just more graphic than anything.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's good. I love it. Yeah. I've read the book as well.
Portrayal of Hannibal that really just gets the fear running, doesn't it? It's nothing scary per se. It's just the way he acts, which is testament to his performance, really.
Absolutely.
But with the stuff I've been watching in lockdown, got Disney Plus finally.
Oh yeah.
So I've had a binge watch of Star Wars.
Mandalorian.
Marathon. Well, I'm going to do it in a really weird order. So normally I would do it 1, 2, 3, have Clone Wars between 2 and 3, and then, Rebels and Solo and Rogue One and blah, blah, blah.
The actual chronological order of it.
Actual chronological, but I thought I'd watch them in order of when they were made.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Just spice it up a bit, just to really confuse me. So I've watched New Hope, Empire, and I'm partway through Jedi at the moment. Started watching The Flash again.
I gave up after the first series because I watched Arrow, because I got into series 3 and then I just saw it got a bit crazy. It kind of annoyed me that in the whole beginning there's that whole thing in the opener. It was my name is Oliver Queen, and for the last several years I've been stuck on this island, but then he's not on the island anymore, so he hasn't been stuck on this island. What is going on? And it all just sort of spirals out of control. So I was
You're
kind
not
of
allowed to diss Arrow unless it's after season 5. It's not okay. It's
I admit that Stephen Amell is the man physically. No one else can bounce that. You know that thing he does where he does the push-ups on the thing, keeps going like that. Honestly, I don't think I could get past the first one, let alone to the 5th, 6th, or however he gets.
I wouldn't be able to reach the bar.
He's very yummy. He's very yummy.
Yeah, I've watched The Flash. I watched Mrs. Doubtfire again.
Oh yeah, I did.
That's my cheer up go-to movie. Anyone who knows me knows. After a while, if I start watching Doubtfire, I start acting like Doubtfire. So partway through, I was reciting the lines as Robin Williams, as Mrs. Doubtfire. So that was annoying to everyone who was watching it around me.
That's what I do. That's what I do every day when I watch films, Tom. That's just don't sit next to me if it's a film I've already seen, because I will be quoting it as it's going on. I'm one of them people. There's those memes where it's when your mate quotes the film while it's happening, and there's just an angry look. So I'm the mate that's annoying everybody.
Whereas I'm the one who asks questions every 2 seconds. I'm like, but how did he do that? How did he do this? And then when they explain how they did that, I was talking over it, so I'll never know. That's me.
Especially the scene in the dining, the restaurant towards the end. Choking on the thing, and I just do it.
We're joined by Jack.
I just shout, "Hello, hey dear," and just start running.
Bloody hell.
Normally,
it's good seeing that.
I've seen it's like the one that was on BBC when they did that conference and the little kids started running in. We've just had that on the episode. We've just had someone pop in. That's nice.
But with Disney Plus as well, another thing is I watched and finished. Please, nobody judge me, please, at all. This is a judgment-free zone. I've watched High School Musical, the series. I
didn't like it. I watched the first 10 minutes and I was like, no.
Believe me, it is cringy, but for me, I loved the original 3 films because obviously that's my guilty pleasure I go to. So when you watch the series, obviously it's them recreating, a show of it essentially in the East High School.
Yeah.
And it's told in a documentary format. It's basically if The Office US and High School Musical met and made a show. It's kind of like that. And so
I think that's why I didn't like the documentary style. I think if they just filmed it as a drama, I'm getting stuck, then it would have been. But when they're talking to the camera and they're like, "Oh my god, man," and I'm like, "Please stop."
I tried,
it's so bad. Oh, the meeting has been upgraded
by the host. Unlimited minutes. Oh.
We don't have to stop
You're genius, man.
I don't have to worry about editing this together.
Hooray. There we go.
But yeah, don't worry, Harry. We won't judge you for watching that. I've just watched the whole of the 4 series of Hannah Montana. So
no wrong with that. That's a classic.
You see, it's 4 series. I always thought it ran longer than 4 series.
I thought that.
Forever.
The series are quite long. 1, 2, and 3 have 20-odd episodes in them, which is mad.
That's normal for an American comedy series.
Yeah, but compared to most stuff we watch nowadays, you're looking at 8, 10, 12. So and I was kind of this is episode 22, really.
Jackson's age, because in real life,
unless it's Riverdale, then there's 25 episodes, which I don't mind because I love Riverdale. It's my favorite show ever.
Oh god,
I love it. It's so good.
Oh dear.
Now I think it has come to the main part of the episode, the moment nobody has been waiting for. Shrek.
Yes.
Shrek.
Let's do it.
So we thought it'd be a fun idea to do a bit of a script read. It's not something we've done before.
Danny's preparing the room.
Danny don't want to do it.
I'm prepared.
So instead of doing the entire
I'm
script,
like, Denise, have you turned the light off? And I'm like, no. You can hear him. I'm like, that's shut door. Bloody hell. Right, I'm ready now.
That's
Oh,
fantastic.
My cheeks are hurt because I laughed so loud.
well, we've got to include that in the script now because that was quite Shrek-like. Denise, have you turned the lights off? Get out the floor. But yeah, so instead of doing the full script read, which we thought it would take over 40 minutes, but that doesn't really matter anymore, apparently.
No, so
I don't
we're
think
just
there's
gonna
enough
do
of us to read the whole script. As in the
Well,
first scene, there's man 1, 2, and 3. So,
We can multi-roll, it's fine.
Yeah.
yeah, we're all trained people.
I'm not sure anyone wants me doing one role, never mind multi.
Well, you did very well as interviewer number 2 in thinking back.
Yeah, we were talking about cheesecake and you turned the sound off so you couldn't hear us talking about cheesecake.
Well,
Don't know
I
if
said,
that counts as acting.
well, you look very enthused about cheesecake.
I would love to hear your opinion on cheesecake. I'm a very
Lemon cheesecake.
It's
Lemon
the best.
cheesecake is the
Cookie
king.
dough cheesecake.
cookie
All
dough's a good
There's-
cheesecake.
I tried a cookie dough cheesecake and it was delicious.
Lotus Biscoff cheesecake.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
That's the one. That makes you throw up after 2 mouthfuls. It's great.
I just want to learn that. It just looks too hard, doesn't it?
It's not that hard.
Is it actually not?
No.
I just realised when I was talking about cheesecake, I did a slight Donald Trump thing.
Oh, God.
It's the best.
Perfect cheesecake.
It's the greatest cheesecake you will ever see in your life.
The best cheesecake you'll ever know.
Comes from China. He's got this squint going on, and he's like,
Yeah, you look just like him.
I ain't done my hair yet. I get blonde first, then I'll be Donald. No, I'd rather not. I'd rather not.
We're gonna do a table read of Shrek.
Phenomenal.
I can't even do it.
It honestly looks like he's trying to do the sign language to his own speech. It's really. We're gonna build a great wall. It's gonna be a good wall. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be brilliant. China. Right.
China.
Pull it back. Right.
Play back. We're not a political show. This isn't political.
So,
I don't think there's much political about Donald Trump, though, is there really?
No.
No.
Yeah, it's not.
It's a
I
popularity
really want
contest.
Donald Trump up here in Shrek now. That'd be great.
Right,
Donald Trump should be Pinocchio. I'm a real boy. Great boy. I'm good. Great. I'm a real boy.
okay,
Right.
so I'm thinking an idea how we can start. So you know the opening monologue that Shrek has, where it's obviously once upon a time and all that. I've got an idea of so obviously there's 4 of us. What for each sentence, we take it in turns with each different sentence. So you can do an impression of Shrek, you can do it in your own voice. Obviously, we're working with a talented actress, Danny. So if you wanted to put on a certain accent, you can do.
I can't do Scottish.
We just did it earlier. Denise, have you turned the light off?
Once upon a time, there was a lovely insect. That's as far as it goes with me. I'll
You
just
can do
pretend
Irish,
I'm
can't you?
He's Scottish, so I'll just pretend I'm him, so it's fine.
I didn't realise
The
Billy's
Shrek
on a Shrek.
You can do Irish though, can't you, Danny? I've heard you
No.
do Irish, I think.
That's like one of the hardest accents to do.
No,
Irish
You can do
and
Irish, can't you?
quite
No.
No.
No, Irish is not that
No.
hard. It's not that difficult.
No, not
It's
that
actually quite
hard.
easy.
Not that hard. Not that difficult. I can't do it. It's just, I need to learn it. I ain't actually tried to learn it properly yet.
Okay, so yeah, like I say, so let's do the opening monologue bit, but we'll do a sentence each, and we can do it obviously however we want to, or put on an accent.
All right,
put on
bear
a
with me.
voice.
I've got a dog underneath me, and he's a bit stuck. 1 minute.
Oh,
I don't recall reading that in the script.
hang
Shrek
on.
pulls out a dog from underneath him.
I don't know what happened. He was
You're-
stuck under my chair. He's
Oh.
there now. So.
Hey, Theo.
Oh.
Don't know what we're going on there.
Right.
Right, so I think it's time to get the clapperboard out now. Again.
Oh,
Yeah.
was the end.
Shrek,
Oh.
take 1. Right.
So who's who? What order should we do it in? Should we do it as who would like to go
Me
first?
never.
Well, do you want to go first, Becca? Because obviously you don't want to do it, and if you get it done first, then the sooner it's
I
done, the better.
really don't care. I'll go whenever. We
just.
Let me start that sentence again. How much is everybody reading? Literally one sentence, or
Yeah. So when a sentence ends, we move on to next person. We could do it that way, just for the opening monologue, and then.
Should we start with the very top of the script where it just says Shrek? That's my one.
If you want to just put if you want to do that, Becca, just put Shrek.
Who's second?
Who wants to go? Who wants to go? I don't mind.
I'm not
Once
bothered.
upon a time, there was a lovely princess.
But she had an enchantment upon her of a fearful sort, which could only be broken by love's first kiss.
That's actually really good, Harry. Sorry. Who was? Oh, you ready for my manly voice? She was locked away in a castle guarded by a terrible fire-breathing dragon.
And I'm just going to read mine in my posh Yorkshire. Many brave knights had attempted to free her from this dreadful prison, but none prevailed.
She waited in the dragon's keep, in the highest room of the tallest tower. I've gone Doubtfire. Her true love's first kiss.
Like that's ever going to happen.
What? Oh, yeah. What a load of.
Wait. Hang on.
And then it goes.
I love this film.
Wait.
Come on, internet, don't fail me now.
Oh, come on. I've got my volume turned up for this.
Freestyle.
Oh, come on.
Hang on. I'll play it on
We'll get there. We'll get there.
I'll play on my bleeding.
That's Spotify, you know. Just search it.
Gonna roll me. Looking kind with the ship on. Well, the years have come.
Oh, there we go.
Worst disco party ever.
Zoom disco party ever.
Zoom disco party.
The new application. Anyway, so what scene would people like to do next? What should we do?
If we go to page 2.
Can we have a donkey introduction?
I
need to do a donkey impression.
Oh yeah. All right.
So I'll read the description.
Can I be head guard because he had quite a posh accent and I don't mind doing that.
I want to be Pinocchio.
That's fine.
So there is a line of fairy tale creatures. The head of the guard, or I should just say head guard, it would have been easier, sits at a table, paying people for bringing the fairy tale creatures to him. There are cages all around. Some of the people in line are Peter Pan, who's carrying Tinkerbell in a cage, Geppetto, who's carrying Pinocchio, and a farmer who's carrying the 3 little pigs.
We need a guard.
Who's going to be guard?
Well,
Go on, Becca.
Becca, you can be guard.
Go on, we're Yorkshire, go on.
All right, this one's full. Take it away. Move it along. Come on, get up.
Next.
Do I have to say the bits in the brackets, or can I just pretend I'm taking the witch's broom?
Yeah, do it.
Give me that. Your flying days are over.
That's 20 pieces of silver for the witch. Next.
Hang on. Get up, come on.
20 pieces. Should I do a little bear as well? Hang on. Do I have a bear? I wish I had a little bear. Damn.
Oh, I don't have a bear.
Not big bear.
Hang
on.
Oh.
Everyone with their teddies to hand.
There we go. So, crying little bear.
Okay, so go on, donkey, take it away.
Oh, bloody hell. Is it me? Right.
Yeah.
Please, don't turn me in. I'll never be stubborn again. I can change. Please, give me another chance.
Oh, shut up.
That sounded a bit more like little gingerbread man.
That's the worst thing, like, ever. I can't do it.
I'll be old woman. Oh, shut up!
Oh.
God, I've been the old woman. Oh.
Just- are you doing Ness from Gavin and Stacey? Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Oh, that's 20 pieces of silver. Next.
I've lost where we are and who's what.
Sorry.
So.
Donkey.
So, Headguard, next. What have you got? So, it's Geppetto. So, I could do Geppetto if you want.
Yeah.
This little wooden puppet.
I'm not a puppet. I'm a real boy.
5 shillings for the possessed toy.
So good.
Take it away.
Mother, please, don't do this to me. Help me.
Next. What have you got?
Well, I have a talking donkey. She's
Right.
not an old woman to like some Midland character. She's got a donkey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is it from my line then. Yeah.
Yeah.
So right. Well, that's good for 10 shillings if you can prove it.
Oh, go ahead, little fella. She's gone Texan now.
Well.
Oh, he's just a little nervous. He's really quite a chatterbox. Talk, you bonehead dog.
That's it. I've heard enough. Guards.
No, he talks. He does. I can talk. I love to talk. I'm the talkingest damn thing you ever saw.
Get her out of my sight.
No, I swear. Oh, he can talk. The guards grab the old woman and struggles with them. One of her legs flies out and kicks Tinkerbell out of Peter Pan's hands, and her cage drops on Donkey's head. He gets sprinkled with fairy dust, and he's able to fly.
Hey, I can fly.
He can fly.
He can fly.
He can talk.
I can't do it. It's so hard.
Just do it in your voice. It's fine.
Do it in your voice. You do just do it in your voice if you need to. Danny. It's fine.
Sounded like Pee Wee Herman.
I want to learn though. I'm curious. Try it. That's right, fool. Now I'm flying talking donkey. You might have seen a house fly, maybe even a super fly, but I bet you ain't seen a donkey fly. I'm not doing the ha-ha.
It's kind of like.
Begins to wear off.
I can't do it.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Begins to sink to the ground. He hits the ground with
Seize
his
him.
He's
Okay,
getting
seize
away.
him.
Get him this way. Turn.
Donkey keeps running and he eventually runs into Shrek. Literally, Shrek turns around to see who bumped into him. Donkey looks scared for a moment, then he spots the guards coming up the path. He quickly hides behind Shrek. I'll do Shrek. Why not?
Is this from Headguard where I say you there? Yeah. You there, ogre.
Aye.
By the order of Lord Farquaad, I am authorized to place you both under arrest and transport you to a designated resettlement facility.
Oh, really? You and what army?
Run off screen.
That was the introduction of Donkey.
What should we do? Introduction. I was gonna say we could do Farquaad or a Farquaad scene or a Fiona scene next.
scene.
Fiona is
I'll do
introduced.
Fiona. I can do that. It's
Oh,
fine.
aren't we doing the one where there's the mirror so he sees
The
Fiona?
Muffin Man. I think we should do that scene.
The Muffin Man.
The Muffin
Yeah, that's.
Right.
Yeah, we'll do Muffin Man scene and then we'll do a Fiona scene afterwards. So
Right, so it's page 13.
13, got that? Yep.
So
Oh, is it
Donkey begins.
no, 12.
But do you notice
12, isn't
it's
it?
12 if you start just before that, where he
Oh.
says you're a monster and that bit.
Yeah, we'll go from there. I don't mind being Farquaad unless someone else has a desired ability to be Farquaad. I honestly don't mind.
Oh, hang on, I might have a different script to you. My numbers are different. What line are we
I
on?
think. So it's Farquaad. That's enough. He's ready to talk. He picks up Gingerbrand's legs. You know, run, little.
Oh yeah, got it. That's yeah.
Just
It's
my
it's
impression.
for me.
It was terrible. I'm not doing it. We're on a different page
It's
now.
12 on mine. It's 12 on mine. Right script.
It's
Yeah.
oh yeah, 12 on mine. Yeah.
So the gingerbread man is pulled out of the milk and slammed down onto a cookie sheet. Farquaad laughs as he walks over to the table. When he reaches the table, we see that it goes up to his eyes. He clears his throat and the table is lowered.
Run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man.
You're a monster!
I'm not the monster here. You are. You and the rest of that fairy tale trash poisoning my perfect world. Now tell me, where are the others?
Eat me!
I've tried to be fair to you creatures. Now my patience has reached its end. Tell me, or I'll...
No, not the gumdrop button!
That's fantastic.
Oh,
That's Oscar worthy.
Have you got the
Oscar
Oscar?
worthy.
Have you still got that Oscar?
It's in the office.
It's in the office. Oh, damn.
Not the gumdrop button.
All right, then. Who's hiding them?
Okay, I'll tell you. Do you know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man.
Yes, I know the Muffin Man who lives on Drury Lane.
Well, she's married to the Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man!
She's married to the Muffin Man.
My lord,
Oh,
we found it.
what are you waiting for? Bring it in.
Oh.
Magic mirror.
Don't tell him anything. Orchard picks him up and dumps it into a bin with a lid. No.
Evening. Mirror, mirror on the wall, is this not the most perfect kingdom of them all?
Well,
Who's Mirror?
That's a big bit that Mirror's got to say. I don't think anyone's going to own up.
I'll do Mirror if you want. I can talk for England.
I talk for England.
Well, technically, you're not a king.
Thelonious, you were saying?
What I mean is, you're not a king yet, but you can become one. All you have to do is marry a princess.
Go on.
He says chuckles nervously. I'm not doing a nervous chuckle because it sounds like I'm trying to get something off my throat. This is where he acts like a game show host, isn't it?
That's right.
So just sit
Correct.
back and relax, my lord, because it's time for you to meet today's eligible bachelorettes. And here they are. Bachelorette
Here they
number
are.
one, in a mentally abused shut-in from a kingdom far, far away. She likes sushi and hot tubbing anytime. Her hobbies include cooking and cleaning for her two evil sisters. Please welcome Cinderella. Bachelorette number two is a cape-wearing girl from the land of fancy. Although she lives with 7 other men, she's not easy. Just kiss her dead frozen lips and find what gives a live wire she is. Come on, give it up for Snow White.
When you read the script, you don't actually realise these are the words. Like,
No,
as a kid, you never cared. Like, oh.
Last but
God,
They might as
sorry.
well have just said she's a slag, but
And last but certainly not least, Bachelorette number 3 is a fiery redhead from a dragon-guarded castle surrounded by boiling hot lava. But don't let that cool you off. She's a loaded pistol who likes pina coladas and getting caught in the rain. Yours for the rescuing, Princess Fiona! Will it be Bachelorette number 1, Bachelorette number 2, or Bachelorette number 3?
So all three of us could be like, three,
three.
Pick number 3, my lord.
You're
Okay. Number 3.
Lord Farquaad, you've chosen Princess Fiona.
If you like pina coladas, get caught in the rain. We'll leave it there for now, I think, with that particular scene. So, should we do introduction of Fiona? Should we do wishes?
yeah, where does she come in? Oh, Sugar, what have I done?
Sugar, what have you done?
I don't know how to use my own phone.
27. It's page 27. Page 27.
I'm nearly there. 27. Yep.
Okay, so are you being Fiona then, Danny? Because you said you can do Fiona.
Well, I don't know. I've never done it before, but
when we're doing
this
introduction to Fiona,
character in terms of voice.
is it the page with Fiona's first line?
Yeah, so she's like woken up. It's when she's woken up.
It's like I say, my numbers are different. I've got a different. Mine's 29. So.
Okay, weird.
So Shrek groans as he gets up off the floor. His back is into Fiona, so she straightens her dress and lays down on the bed. She then quickly reaches over and gets the bouquet of flowers off the side table. She then lays back down and appears to be asleep. Shrek turns and goes over to her. He looks down at Fiona for a moment, and she puckers her lips. Shrek takes her by the shoulders and shakes her away.
I don't know how to say that. I don't. She
But
just woke up.
from the film, it was kind of like, whoa, kind of like that. It's kind of like...
Wake up!
What?
Are you Princess Fiona?
I am, waiting a knight as bold as to rescue me.
Oh, that's nice. Let's go.
But wait, Sir Knight. This beeth our first meeting. Should it not be a wonderful romantic moment?
Yes, sorry, lady, there's no time.
Hey, wait! What are you doing? You should sweep me up my feet out yonder window and down a rope onto your valiant steed.
You've had a lot of time to plan this, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
Like a great lock on her door and pulls her out and down the hallway.
We have to savor this moment. We could recite an epic poem for me, a ballad, a sonnet, a limerick, or something.
I don't think so.
Can I at least know the name of my champion?
Shrek.
Sir Shrek, I pray that you take this favor as a token of my gratitude.
Thanks. Suddenly they hear the dragon roar.
Oh.
You didn't slay the dragon?
It's on my to-do list now, come on!
But this isn't right! You were meant to charge in, sword.
Sword.
Take the might of my sword, sir!
Sword. Sword drawn, banner flying, that's all. Well, that's what all the other knights did.
Yeah,
No?
right before they burst into flames.
That's not the point. Oh! Wait! Where are you going? The exit's. I can't speak today. The exit's over there.
I have to save my ass.
What kind of a knight are you?
One of a kind. I don't remember him winking in that, but as I said it, I just went, one of a kind. Open the door into the throne room.
That were really good though, Dan. I did like your Fiona was really good actually. I genuinely thought I was hearing Cameron Diaz.
I've actually forgot what exactly she sounds like, but I know she's American, so I just did a Disney American accent.
I can't wait
so well.
You have to go.
They have to screech.
Oh, right. What scene are we doing next?
I don't know. Is there a somber moment later on or something, or is there another funny bit? Or what about the one where after she's beaten up all the merry men and like Shrek's he's got an arrow in his butt, that bit.
Oh, that bit's quite fair.
Do you want to take it from do you want to do the merry men bit or just after?
I don't know if we should do the merry men bit. There's a whole musical number around that one.
I know, but we don't have to sing it as the merry. We could just say the lines and be the boring. We are merry men. We are merry men.
Can I be Robin Hood? Because he puts on a French accent, and I sort of love that Robin Hood is randomly French.
Yeah, why not? Even though he grew up in Locksley, please welcome Monsieur Hood.
To be fair, they made him American though as well. Kevin Costner did that, so
yeah.
So there's other crazy things that's happened. Should we start from when Robin Hood swings and saves her? So suddenly from out of nowhere, a man swings down. So this is
Hang on, what page?
40, yeah, 40.
Right,
oh, sorry. So Tom, like I say, it starts with she smiles and then continues walking. Yeah, you got it. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a man swings down and swoops Fiona into a tree. La liberté! Hey!
Princess!
What are you doing?
Be still, mon chéri, for I am your savior, and I rescue you from this green beast.
Hey, that's my princess. Go find your own.
Please, monster, can't you see I'm a little busy here?
Look, pal, I don't know who you think you are.
Oh, of course. How rude. Please let me introduce myself. Oh, merry man.
Suddenly, an accordion begins to play, and the merry men pop out from the bushes. They begin to sing Robin's theme song. Da-da-da-da-da-woo. Da-da-da-da-woo.
It's da 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 da. Oh, I steal from the rich and give to the needy.
He takes a wee percentage.
But I'm not that greedy. I rescue pretty damsels. Man, I'm good.
What a guy, Monsieur Hood.
Sure. Break it down. I like to sacrifice. What's it? I like an honest fight and a saucy little maid.
What he's basically saying is he likes to get
Paid. Oh, so when an ogre in the bush grabs a lady by the tush, that's bad.
That's bad.
That's bad. When a beauty's with a beast, it makes me awfully mad.
Mad. He's really, really mad.
I'll take my blade and run it through your heart. Close your eyes on me, boys, because I'm about to start.
There's a grunt as Fiona slips down from a tree limb and knocks Robin Hood unconscious.
Man, that was annoying.
Oh, you little.
Shoots an arrow at Fiona, but she ducks out of the way. The arrow flies towards Donkey, who jumps into Shrek's arms to get out of the way. The arrow proceeds to just bounce off a tree. Another fight sequence begins, and Fiona gives a karate yell. Well, that's the bit when she does the splits in midair, isn't it?
Yeah, the Matrix reference, yeah.
And then proceeds to beat the crap out of the merry men. There is an interesting Matrix moment here when Fiona pauses in midair to fix her hair. Finally, all of the merry men are down, and Fiona begins walking away.
Shall we?
Hold the phone. Oh, whoa, hold on now. Where did that come from?
What?
That back there, that was amazing. Where did you learn that? I've lost Shrek. I've gone to that. Where did you learn that, dear?
Well, when one lives alone, one has to learn new things in case there's an arrow in your butt.
What? Oh, would you look at that? He goes to pull it out, but flinches because it's tender.
Oh no, this is all my fault. I'm so sorry.
Might be Donkey in this for now, or do you want to do it, Becca? Do you want to take it away?
Absolutely not.
Wow, what's wrong?
Shrek's hurt.
Shrek's hurt! Shrek's hurt! Oh no, Shrek's gonna die!
Donkey, I'm okay.
You can't do this to me, Shrek! I'm too young for you to die! Keep your legs elevated! Touch your head a cough! Does anyone know the Heimlich?
Donkey, calm down. If you want to help Shrek, run into the woods and find me a blue flower with red fawns.
Blue flower, red fawns. Okay, I'm on it. Blue flower, red fawns. Don't die, Shrek. And if you see a long tunnel, stay away from the lights.
Donkey!
oh yeah, right. Blue flowers, red home. Blue flowers, red home.
What are the flowers for?
For getting rid of Donkey. Now you hold still, and I'll yank this thing out.
Oh, hey, easy with the yanking.
I'm sorry, but it has to come out.
No, it's tender.
Now, hold on.
What
You sound like Lewis Capaldi.
I took the glasses and a towel. I've decided if I'm doing Shrek from here on in, it's going to be Doubtfire because the accent I'll turn into her anyway. So, what you're doing is the opposite of help.
Don't move.
Look, time out.
Would you... Okay. What do you propose we do?
Elsewhere, Donkey is still looking for the special flower.
Blue flower, red thorns. Blue flower, red thorns. Blue flower, red thorns. Blue flower, red thorns. This would be so much easier if I wasn't colorblind. Blue flower, red thorns. Blue flower, red thorns.
Oh!
Hold on, Shrek, I'm coming.
Oh, not good.
Okay. I can nearly see the head. It's just about...
Oh! Nothing happened. We were just
Look, if you wanted to be alone, all you had to do was ask, okay?
Oh, come on, that's the last thing on my mind. The princess here was just... Ugh! Ow!
Hey, what's that? Is that blood? And scene. Oh. Should we do one more scene, or should we chat about something else? Have we sort of had our time with Shrek? I'm just trying to think. Could have the conversation between Fiona and Donkey when he finds out that she's an ogre, or we could have one bit further on. I don't know. Depends what everyone wants, really. Or the argument between Shrek and Donkey when it's dividing up the land or something like that, or when they go or when they go to the church and it's like, do you want to hold this woman? Yes. Do you want to love her? Yes. Please her? Yes. Then you got to try a little tenderness. She's like that romantic crap. There's so many TikToks of that one. It's just, it's unreal.
I've realised when you're reading a script, it's probably best if you do read the directions, because if you're not watching it, some of the noises I would make in a Shrek. Oh. It probably help when it says, "Oh, I can almost see the head." I can see.
That could be many, many things.
Yeah,
It's literally good.
I think we should do the I think try a little tenderness. I think
that bit, yeah.
Script.
Yeah.
Which page?
Let's have
I
let's
can't
have a look.
I'm not good at it. I need to practice that.
Okay. It is page 61. So it starts with as the priest talks, we see Donkey's shadow through. Oh no, hang on, it's 60 exactly. So it's where some guards are milling around. Suddenly the dragon lands with a boom. The guards all take off running, and then Donkey says to the dragon, "Shall I be? Who's going to be Donkey? Who's going to be Shrek in this particular scene? I honestly don't mind."
I don't mind.
I don't mind either.
I don't.
By the way, no, go with our different accents that we have.
I'm so I just can't do them on the spot. Character impressions, I just can't do them. I have to learn it.
I can't do accents at all, so you won't step up on me.
I'll have a bash at Donkey. I won't be able to do it as Eddie Murphy, but I'll have a go at Donkey. See what accent my mouth decides to don him with. For all I know, it could be Broad Geordie. Oh.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you want to who wants to go with Shrek? I honestly don't mind. We could do it either way.
I'll have a go if you want.
All right,
what
Danny.
the viewers were wanting. Ever since they heard about the lights, they thought, right,
I'm not good at impressions, but we'll wing it.
Right.
We'll wing it.
So
we'll wing it.
So some guards are milling around. Suddenly the dragon lands with a boom. The guards all take off running.
Go ahead, have some fun. If we need you, I whistle. How about that? Shrek, wait a minute. You want to do this right, don't you?
What are you talking about?
There's a line you got to wait for. The preacher's going to say, "Speak now or forever hold your peace." That's when you say, "I object."
I don't have time for this.
Hey, wait, what are you doing? Listen to me. Look, you love this woman, don't you?
I can't even say yes to the Scottish accent.
Yes. It's like that. Yes.
Aye.
Yes, say I instead.
Fair enough.
Look, you love this woman, don't you?
Aye.
You gonna hold her?
Aye.
Please her?
Yes.
And you gotta try a little tenderness. The chicks love that romantic crap.
All right, cut it out. Cut it out. I love it. It's so funny. When does this guy say the line?
We gotta check it out.
Inside church, as the priest talks, we see Donkey's shadow.
Okay. What?
Suddenly,
Hey,
PG-6 monkey.
Get out of my swamp and get back to your tree.
We see Donkey's shadow through one of the windows. Shrek tosses him up so he can see. And so, by the power vested in me, outside,
What do you see?
The whole house in there.
I now pronounce you husband and wife,
They're at the altar.
king and queen.
Mother Fletcher, he's already said it.
Oh, for the love of Pete!
Oof.
Oh, when I'm editing this, I'm definitely keeping that and using that as my ringtone. Oh,
For the love of Pete!
For the love of Pete.
I love it. It's so
oh,
That's good.
God, this is where he objects. I object.
I object. I could be Shrek if you want to be Fiona.
It's Danny's one-woman show.
Yeah.
It's gonna be in it.
Let's go back and forth.
That'd be
I'd
so
shake
funny, though,
Fiona.
wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I object. Shrek?
The whole congregation gasps as they see Shrek. Oh!
Now what does he want?
That was so good, Harry. Sorry.
Sorry.
Hi, everyone. Having a good time, are you? I love what?
Duloc.
First of all, very clean. What are you doing here? Really? It's rude enough being alive when no one wants you, but showing up uninvited to a wedding?
I think that's supposed to be Farquaad's line because, like, Shrek never says that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, sorry. Well, hang on. All right, take 3. Try again.
Reshoot that.
We'll reshoot that in editing.
Back to the beginning. Once upon a time, there was a.
No, because that means I have to be a guard again, and I don't want to take part in this anymore.
Don't. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. So I'll go from. So we'll go from. Oh, now what does he want then? Oh, now what does he want?
Hi, everyone. Having a good time, are you? I love Duloc, first of all. Very clean. What are you doing here?
Really, it's rude enough of you being alive, but when no one wants you, but showing up uninvited to a wedding.
Fiona, I need to talk to you. Oh, now you want to talk? It's a little late for that, so if you'll excuse me. You can't marry him. This is so funny. And why not? Because he's just marrying you so he can be king.
Outrageous. Fiona, don't listen to him.
He's not your true... I can't even speak. He's not your true love. And what do you know about true love? Well, I mean...
Oh, this is precious. The ogre has fallen in love with the princess. Oh, God. Lord. An ogre and a princess. He's done it.
An ogre and a princess. Oh, you said it.
Yeah, I've said it.
Is this true?
Who cares? It's preposterous. Fiona, my love, we're about one kiss away from our happily ever after. Now kiss me.
By night, one way, by day another. I wanted to show you before. Well, that explains a lot.
I feel like I feel like hearing that's not what you want to hear on a first date. If you're on a first date with a girl, she says, "By night one way, by day another. I wanted to show you before," and he's like, "Well, this is unexpected." This explains a lot. Should we leave it in there then for the script read? I think.
Oh God. That would hard work, that going Scottish.
I know, Danny needs an out now.
I can't even do like either of them impressions, so I did all right.
You did a great job there, Danny. I think.
Thanks.
That's why we pay you to be the actress and the model, because you're good at this. Like me and Becca are better behind the camera.
I can't do impressions of other characters in films, but I can do like accents, which is really weird and really weird. Yeah, you'd think the both would go, wouldn't you? But they don't.
No, because if you're choosing to make up a character, it's easier than trying to copy something that already exists, because there's a bit more pressure to get it right.
Yeah, you feel like perfect in a way, doesn't it? When you copy someone.
It used to make me laugh when I was working in Cineworld, for example. Like Tom will know this. We're washing behind the counter, washing up all the pots and pans and everything. And people would come in and they just go, "Oh, where do I put this?" I'll be like, "Just put it over there." And I do it in like various accents. I did like Yorkshire. I'm just like, "Oh, what's going on out there then?" And they just go, and like one of our colleagues, Emily, she used to say to me like, "You'd suit a Yorkshire accent. You'd suit a Yorkshire accent." I went, "I probably would. I probably would if I did a proper one."
A good accent. I'm telling
Good
you.
Going pub. I'm going down road.
British accents to learn,
Is it?
A lot of actors struggle learning Yorkshire accent if they're
I
not
love the
Yorkshire.
Yorkshire accent. It's great.
It's-
Yorkshire
But
accent.
Yorkshire's so broad. Like, if you have someone from Bradford and then you have someone from Leeds, they sound like two completely different people. It's the only it's the only accent where, like, in London, it kind of it's pretty similar down there, unless it's Cockney. It's
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
much the same.
Yeah.
Yorkshire, literally, you can go from Halifax, Huddersfield, and Leeds, and everyone sounds like from different countries.
Yeah, we
Huddersfield.
Completely different.
Huddersfield.
Huddersfield, Udder.
Huddersfield.
Udder.
Because did you see that Jodie Whittaker was on she was on an interview, I think it was in America,
It
and
was
she said she said she said Huddersfield, and they took it as Huddersfield. And when
Huddersfield?
yeah, exactly. It's like it's Huddersfield. You just don't
Yeah, but
pronounce
if you're from Huddersfield, you don't say Huddersfield. Nobody says that.
You say Huddersfield because that's how you
If you're from
pronounce it.
Bradford, you say Bradford. No one says Bradford. It's
I'm from
Bradford.
Yeah.
I mean, I lived there for 3 years. Yeah, I still call it Bradford. I keep calling it.
Yeah, but
Bradford.
that's because you're a southerner, so.
You're a
Do you know what?
southerner.
Do you know what made me laugh in the interview I had with the kind woman in the Bradford College? There was a little line that she put. Like, I talked about how, even though I was from Worksop, so I was from a bit far south. You know, with my accent and everything, I kind of stood out amongst everyone because obviously I was the posh one. And she actually wrote something like, despite being a southern outcast, I managed to fit in. And I was kind of like, I kind of want to remove that line, to be honest, because I wasn't really an outcast.
That's written by someone who's from Bradford who don't like people from down south. That was perfect.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
So,
It's me hair doing today, man. I've brushed it, I promise.
now we've done the
I believe
script
you.
read, I've pulled up a little thing from my computer.
Oh no.
You've probably heard this already, Harry, and I said we were going to talk about it at the start of the episode, but filmmaker Harry Downing's movies could be coming to a cinema near you after the Bradford College's graduate script and film won 4 awards at a US film festival. So, how did you feel when thinking back, won 4 awards at the LA Film Fest?
Well, technically it won 2 because the other 2 awards were for a separate script I'd written, which Becca and Danny have both read. But when I found out it won, I was, it only won, I think it was like Silver Award for Low Budget Film and then Red Platinum Award for Best Short Film. But I was over the moon. I mean, because usually when I apply to these festivals, I get lots of rejections. I get, you didn't make it, you didn't make it, you didn't make it, or you're possibly in competition, but you didn't quite make it. But to hear just the letters, you won, I just couldn't believe it. Like, I read the email and I was like, oh my God, what does this mean? What does this mean? Like, and I'm just scrolling through the email and I'm having a look and it just said in there, you've won the Silver Award. And I just thought, wow, like this one little film that we made as a final year project for college is been in this film festival in America and has gone and won something, and the certificates and everything. It's great. It felt phenomenal to have that win, to be honest. Especially, like, I remember Danny does like a load of appreciation posts lately on Facebook. I remember she put about, she was saying like, he's gone and won at this film festival. And that's just great because that's what you deserve. You didn't give up, you carried on. And I just thought, yeah, it's true. Because I know there's I'd say a mutual friend, but he's not really much of a friend anymore. But he actually told me, he said, you can't just keep hanging on this one film. Like, you've got to make new stuff, But I kept submitting this film for now, and I kept saying, it's all I've got at the minute. But for it to have gone and won something, even after various, rejections and submissions, it shows all the work that we put into it and everything. And I love that if it's won, it must mean that everyone identifies with these characters as well. Like, a few people from Cineworld have seen the film. And one woman said to me, she says, I think it was Lynn. You know Lynn, don't you, Tom? Yeah. She said, oh, I loved your film because it really talks about life and about how short it is and we should be cherishing it and stuff, because obviously Amelia's character, she dies young, but he decides to make the most of it. And that's when Steve's character, Edward, goes and meets Danny's Holly, go on that drink, that date, and, it changes from there and things like that. So, yeah.
Did you know, Harry, it's the anniversary of the film premiere today, isn't it? Because it come up on my Facebook memories, yeah.
Oh my God, is it? Is it actually? I did not know that.
So it was 13th of June 2018 when it got shown at the
Media Museum. It was. Oh my God. What perfect timing. Oh,
yeah,
my God.
Let me get that photo.
I
I was going to say, yeah, let's get the photo.
Yeah, that's not going to work, is it? It's a bit too dark.
Well, a little bit.
Kind of.
If you send it across, I can put it on.
Oh, yeah.
There's all oh.
That's the best you're going to get. That's the best you're going to get.
Yeah, I'll send it. I'll send it through to you, Tom.
Becca and Danny,
yeah.
what was it like working with Harry as a director? Was he one of those directors?
Yeah, guys.
Do you want me to do my? I'm going to pretend that I'm a horrible person and joke and say, "Oh my god, it was terrible," and then go on to say how fantastic it was.
Whatever works for you. Directors you read about where he's got so many like strenuous demands, like he can only have like brown M&Ms at the.
Oh my god, you should have seen him if someone was talking on set. He was walking around going, "Shut up," to everyone. No, he was fantastic.
If anything, you were telling me to shut up.
I think my only, it's not even a criticism, was the sorry jar, but it paid for us all to get drunk at the premiere. So every time he apologised for something that he shouldn't apologise for, he had to put £1 into this like imaginary pot to stop him from apologising for everything, and then he bought us all drinks, so it worked out well.
I'm going to introduce that into the office now, Harry. That's been made.
Damn.
Yeah, because it comes up at least 5 times every episode where you say sorry. I think that would probably pay for a month's rent for the office.
But basically, yeah, like it made me laugh. I think I kept saying sorry for a lot of things. I'm like, really sorry, really sorry. And Beck says, "You don't have to be sorry. There's nothing to be sorry for." And she went, "Okay. Every time you say sorry now, you have to put £1 in the jar." I said,
but it's
right,
not like you were saying sorry. You were saying like someone would say, "Oh, do you mind if I film that again? I don't feel like I did a good job." And you go, "Oh, sorry, of course you can." And it's like, why are you apologising for that? That doesn't make any sense. If they want to film it again, let them. You don't need to apologise because they want to do it again. You know, it was bizarre.
Well, the good news was the sorry fund paid for everyone's first round of drinks. So like that's how much I raised if like in the sorry fund.
Yeah, well, that was like so. There was only 2 things that were kind of paid for the whole thing, weren't there? Because I bought.
We paid for a few props, didn't we?
Yeah, he paid for the props, but in terms of like like transport and costs, I paid for Steve to have a Taco Bell after he did his crying scene because I felt so sorry for him. And then you paid for drinks. That was it. So
I paid for Sophia's travel because she asked. She said to me like, obviously, because you'll be traveling between Bradford and where she lives. Obviously, she can't do the work for free. And I said, no, it's absolutely fine. Because I remember when we were discussing the script and getting it made, I remember saying, like, I don't care how much it costs. Like, if Danny, Steve, and Sophia all turned around and said, we want, like 50 quid each for a day, 50 quid each a day, I'd be like, yeah, because I wanted you guys to work with, and I would have paid it. Yeah, there you go, Danny. You could have got money out of me.
Yeah, when I demanded 20 quid a day, you told me to do one. All right, I see how it is. So the actors are important, but the producer.
Actually, I don't get paid for it.
Sending funds now.
Yeah.
But the film, thinking back, it also went to the Blue Danube Film Festival as well, Harry.
It did, yeah.
What were you feeling when that got entered in for the draw? What were the emotions running through you at the time? Because I remember, obviously, when we did the podcast, we were advertising it on the episodes and we were putting posts out on the page just saying, go and check it out, go and give it your support. How did you feel at the time when that was up for the running?
It was quite an ecstatic feeling because I just thought I'm potentially in a festival, like I'm in competition with these other films. And not gonna lie, I remember I sent it to Becca. I said like, we're in, and she's like, oh, and the funniest thing was she said to me, she went through all the other nominees and she went, they're all shit. They're all rubbish.
Well, I never said it, but I did have a look, and it was like looking at them. I was thinking, right, if I was like a mutual party looking through all of these, which ones would I click on that jump out to me? And just by our poster, there was maybe 1 or 2 others where I thought, oh yeah, that looks okay. But the rest of them, they looked a lot more what you'd expect from a college film, whereas I'd looked a bit more what you'd expect after college. It was just that slight notch, and I'm not saying that obviously because we made it, but genuinely looking through, I was like, yeah, I think we've got a little edge, something here that some of the other films don't have.
Because if I can remember correctly, I think we came 4th overall because we had about, I think it was like north of 300 likes and love emojis, which is basically a vote. but the winner got through with like 1,000 or something like that, and the next winner after that got like 500. And obviously it was going to be a difficult category, and I didn't mind not winning because it's the taking part that counts. But there's a moment where you get like a load of comments underneath of everyone that we know and love saying, oh, great film, good luck, best of luck, oh, I love this. Because some people have either watched it for the first time or have already seen it and just going, brilliant. Because I remember, because we both shared it, me and Becca, and Sophia did as well, and Danielle, our cinematographer, and Steve did as well. And then Danny, you were having a break from social media at the time. And then sort of come back. You came back into it like a week or two before nominations were done, before the votes was done. And then when you posted it out there, then that really helped boost it because you obviously have a lot of connections. So
well, that's the thing, isn't it? It was a shame that we didn't win, but I think the main thing was if you look at the YouTube views that it had before the competition and after, although we didn't get as many likes as other people did, in total it got more awareness because more people watched it because of the competition. So it was still a win with the extra people that learnt about it, even if we didn't win the competition.
Exactly. I'm actually going to look up now how many views it's up to now, considering where we're at.
1.1k. I've just had a look.
Yeah, 1,110. And it was 2 years. It's literally telling me now 2 years ago. Oh, that's so surreal. Like, I can't,
it feels like so. Do you know what? My hair was this colour. Then I must have re-dyed it just to feel the memory and feel like I'm still there.
I wish I could take the body I have now and give it to me then, because I was so chunky. I look back at the photo and I'm just like,
I was so tiny then. I remember thinking I was massive in that dress, and like Danny's all like, little, and and I was stood next to her, and now I'm like, oh, I won't even fit in that dress anymore. So.
So what's the plan now, Harry? I know you're currently working on another script at the moment. You've been writing. What's in the works for you moving on from now? Obviously, lockdown has put a bit of a hinder on things, but what's next for Harry Downer?
Well, like you've said, I'm currently writing a feature-length script, which is set around some true experiences, some things that I've seen in film and TV, normal people being a massive influence, as well as the film Like Crazy with Felicity Jones and Anton Yelchin, God rest him. I know. But basically the film is set, it's around a bunch of lads that go on a holiday in Zante, and while they're over there, one of them meets a girl who's from Ireland, and she's there with her mates on a girls' holiday, and the two of them meet and they fall in love. It's holiday romance, but they decide to try and keep it going when they go back home. So when they're home, they try and visit each other. But the reality of it all is trying to keep that relationship while they obviously live far apart and they've got lives and so forth. So that's kind of the general theme of the story. But also out of lockdown, so obviously my script Stay Indoors, which also won awards at the Los Angeles Film Festival, I want to get that made because it doesn't take a lot. All you need is one apartment or one house, and majority of the filming's done in there. And I remember Danny said in that appreciation post, she said, like, I can really see myself in that role, but just because I'm an actress. like
Hint, hint, Harry.
How much would I have to charge you this time, Danny?
Well,
And Becca, how much would I need for you to be script supervised? Because I know you said you didn't want to be a producer, but you'd be on set.
I don't mind co-producing, but I swear if I have to I'm not saying this isn't you, Danny. This isn't anyone who works on Thinking Back, actually. This is other people and other actresses. I'm sick of planning things and people going, I'm sorry, I can't turn up today. And that is why I'm not being a producer, because I can't. I just so I'll co-produce, I'll help out. But yeah, no, I like travel. I'm okay with travel money. I'll do the rest of it for fun. Don't worry. I'm not going to charge you thousands.
Okay, are you two going to be working with Harry again? Oh, yeah, I didn't fit in. Have you just thought, that's it, done with.
Now, I think the question is, where are we going to be working with him, or is he going to be working with us? Does he get the privilege of working with us?
Yeah, I've sent my request letter in the post, and I'm waiting for approval.
His people are going to get in touch with your people, and you can.
Yeah, my people.
Yeah. But honestly, if either of them came to me and just said, "I want to work with you again," or what's your next project? I'd drop everything and work with these two again because they were fantastic on Thinking Back, and I've obviously seen Becca's work previously.
Just saying that because we're here.
Doesn't mean it.
Danny's always so busy. but no, I would love to work with you both again. I mean, I remember Danny actually, she messaged me, I think it was like a good couple of weeks ago, and she said, she does these videos on Facebook and social media where she does like these, she does like scenes that she's either written herself or, to test her acting talent and show it to the world. And she said to me, could you write me just like a monologue scene? Just write me a monologue scene, because I love your writing. And I just want to do like a monologue scene. And I was like, what's the plot? And she's like, I don't mind about the plot, just about anything. And I said, exactly. So I wrote one that I'd been sort of testing with for a long time. It was kind of sort of about love in the modern world, about how difficult it is. And I just sort of wrote about, how in the old days it used to be so easy to step up to, a woman that you liked or a guy you liked in a club or wherever, and you just ask them, and then next thing you know, you go for a dance, and then it escalates from there. But nowadays it's so difficult because obviously we've got, various dating apps and how difficult it is, and obviously we're more aware of our like mental health and so forth. So I think there's a lot of people that really struggle with, like, say, anxiety, that wouldn't go up to somebody or can't. I know I'm sort of speaking from personal experience, because I always have trouble, like, if there was a lovely girl in a club, I wouldn't go up to her because I'd just be afraid that she's just going to say piss off, like I'm overthinking it kind of thing. So I kind of wrote from, if it was like my point of view, and about, it's almost like a half rant, half monologue about, don't care about what is going on right now, just care about what you want to do, kind of thing. And then
Oh, so good.
And then I also wrote a 2-person monologue, argument between like 2 lawyers discussing a case, because I just thought, I had it in my mind, I was like, you know what, I'll just give that to Danny as well. And
I love it. I need to film them. I really, really do. I've just been like so lazy recently with doing stuff, like losing my mojo. I'm trying not to, but it's so hard because obviously we've been in lockdown for like 12 weeks, and it's just like finding the motivation now after trying to be motivated for 12 weeks. You're just losing it.
First 3 weeks, everyone was like, "Yeah, I can do this," and then Paul's like,
sit back. That's like, oh, yeah.
And now I just want to sleep all the time because I've got no energy. Standard.
It's absolutely tiring doing nothing, isn't it?
It feels worse than when you go out and do stuff. Like when we've gone for like long walks and stuff, or whenever I've done shoots outside, like social distancing, like I felt like more awake than what I do when I'm sat at home doing nothing. It's really weird.
It's not just the physical as well, or even having a conversation with more than, no offense, I love talking to Kieran, but more than just talking to him, it gets your brain going a bit more, and you feel a bit more like, oh, I can get up and do something. And the dog as well, sorry, it's just meant to, I had that, interact with the dog. But yeah, it does that thing of, even if you're not physically doing something, just chatting to more people, because we do talk to so many people in a normal day-to-day, getting on the bus, in work, all of that, and then you're stuck at being at home and not talking to anyone. It's tiring not socialising as well.
I mean, I kind of feel bad because before the lockdown, I would message you guys occasionally, just how you guys are both doing, or if we were planning me coming to visit you or you guys coming to visit me. But since lockdown's come into effect, I feel like I message you guys more because we can connect a bit more, like through Zoom, Skype, Messenger, and I just kind of think, because I do miss you guys all the time, and I felt bad before when I couldn't message you and that I can't see you guys as often. So when we've been in lockdown, I could see you more through stuff like this. So if anything, it's made us connect more as well as not connect more, if that makes sense. So yeah, but definitely when this is all over and everything, I'm either coming to visit you guys or you guys are going to come down and visit me. Like we got
we need to make a film, because like it's driving me mad that it's been so long since I've worked on anything. I've done loads of personal projects, but with anyone else I've done nothing in, like, say, about 2 years now. So really need to get on
I
that.
have no trouble when it comes to film, but I'm more than happy just to stand in a corner and just go, that'll be
fine. Someone has to do that.
Someone has to. It's a good job. I love it.
There is a role. There's a role for everyone. It's such a small thing, but someone needs to do it. So
I always loved being the clapper boy. Because I remember Callum, our mutual friend, he used to say to us, "Clapper boy," and I would just come and then walk away. It was brilliant. And when we were working on set, I remember I just when I was director.
Oh, was it gone?
I think I used to go to Callum, "Clapper boy, get in there, get your job."
Yeah, no, there's a role for everyone, even if it's something. I think that was one of the things when we filmed that as well, is you know, on big productions, you have hundreds of people and whatever, and everyone has a little role. And when we did Thinking Back, it was like one day you'd be doing sound, and one day you'd be doing this, and then the next day you'd be doing, you know, Clapper Boy, because everyone had to pitch in with everything, because there was about, I don't know, 7 of us or something like that.
But
So it was a bit...
5 to 7 of us on set, because like,
yeah,
because if there was a scene with like, you know, you got Steve, Sophia, then you got me, you, and then if Danny was in as well, and then we had Callum, Danielle, so there'd be about 7 or 6 of us on set. So yeah,
which is quite a small amount, you know. Oh, and even we had, when we did the dancey scenes in the club, there was another bloke there, and I can't remember his name, and I feel really bad, but he was there on a day as well. So I think there was 8 of us that day. So
yeah, that were a fun scene, because I remember we couldn't get. I tried to get a club because I'd done some filming for him, and I said, "Could I use this as a filming location in the future?" And he's like, "Yeah, absolutely. Just send us a call or an email." So, and I did all that, and he never responded back. So I was a bit annoyed. So we had to do it in our college's studio. We had a studio at the time, so we just sort of blacked out the walls, and you know, with like cloth, and we just turned on the lights to all colourful, how it would look in a club. And I just said, right, okay, is everybody here? All right, dance. Let's just get some music on.
We were dancing like to Peaky Blinders theme tune at one point, and it was really weird because we were all going like that, but that wasn't what the music was at all. So that was fun.
Yeah, we had a bit of Spice Girls on as well, and I remember I was behind the camera, and I remember I think I could see you guys gesturing, "Come on, Harry!" And I just sort of ran in, even though I was like, it doesn't make sense for me to be in there. I just ran in and joined, which wasn't in the final cut. Like, but I feel like if you're one of those people that like watches a film so often looking for mistakes, if you actually keep looking, like when in that scene where you sort of pan round and you see all the dance people, you know, you can see Callum and you can see you, Rebecca, but I think you can sort of see Danny as well, and obviously, and so like it's funny, people have not asked me like why. You know, why are they in that scene again? If that makes sense.
I think that makes sense, because obviously she lives nearby, so it's chances are she's probably going to be in a club. But because he's there with another girl, he's not going to notice her. Yeah. And it's like, even when I'm in it, I'm interviewing him in another scene. But I suppose it's that thing of, well, if I lived in the same place, I could be partying in the same club. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't mean.
It doesn't matter.
No.
Yeah. But no, I think I've watched it a few times, and there's often times that I wish I could have done it. Like, there was a couple of scenes where I wish I would have changed. Like, if I could. Obviously, I think at the time the weather was a bit rubbish, so we couldn't. I wanted to do this. So when Sophia's character is like walking through the park, and you know, she's realizing, you know, that she's dying and everything, and she's on the swing. While that was a fantastically beautiful scene to shoot, and I did love doing that. Originally in the script, it was supposed to be she was on a beach, and I wanted to get us to go to a beach, but it obviously would cost quite a bit, and everyone's availability and the weather wasn't.
Yeah, we did
good.
look into it. We looked at like what were the closest beaches, and then if it just because it was close, was it a nice beach to film on? Could you get there by public transport, or would we need to drive? We did look, and it was that thing of, because it was a college project and we had a deadline, it got to that point of, okay, we probably could save a bit of money and do it, but actually we've got like 2 months, and you know, there's not much time, so it just ended up getting cut.
But if anything, like the way I sort of visualize it now, if anything, she could have been on the bus because she could have just had her results, and she's walking through a park because maybe that's her way to get back home, and she's just on a swing. I remember our tutor Alan, he said to me, that scene where there's a shot where she's on the swing, and there's like there's part of the swing that's like this, you know, like the A bit, and she's sort of in the middle. He said that was the best shot out of it all. Says, did you colour it or anything? I went, no, that's how we shot it. He's like, it's beautiful. He loved it.
I forgot about Alan.
Yeah, I think
he was a good tutor. Alan. He was always, I mean, I really liked him, but he was quite often late to class, and we'd all be sat in the class like, Alan, because he just wasn't there. So he was great, though. I'd forgotten about him.
I like Alan. Yeah, I miss Alan.
It was probably my favourite tutor.
But I also loved when we did the scene where, you know, it's during the montage and it snowed. That was just a pure coincidence, because it was supposed to be a picnic scene, but then it just snowed. And I remember we were all talking about, oh, what will we do? We can't go out. And I went, no, let's use it. It shows the passage of time, and it looked stunning. And that was one of my favourite bits to shoot.
That was quite an early on scene that they shot.
That was the first one. It was the first shot.
I missed the first scene and the last scene, because the last one was the broken foot ankle scene. That was that day.
Yeah, it was all within. So I have a friend in makeup, Rowan, who had an apartment in Bradford at the time, and I think I'd visited. And I said to her, I said, could I use your apartment for filming? Like, you know, obviously I'll if you have any favors or anything you need me to help with, I'll do anything. Can I just use the apartment? And she said, yeah, that's absolutely fine. She was out during the day, so we could go in. She gave us the key and everything and gave us permission. And obviously we didn't touch anything and we didn't nick anything and all that. And we did all the scenes. No, we're not like that in any way.
Go back out with the PG tips and some.
Oh no, it's Yorkshire tea all the way. Yorkshire tea all the way. Anyway, no, obviously we didn't, and so we filmed all the final scenes. I think it was just me, Danielle, Steve, and Sophia doing the last scenes. And Sophia did all the makeup for when she's all cancer-stricken in bed and things like that. And the lighting of it was all working. And we even added a scene as well, because I remember that scene was added where she's in bed writing the letter. Because Sophia said to me, could we have a scene where she's writing the letter? And I said, I didn't think of that, but yeah. No. And I said, but is she cancer stricken? She went, yeah. I went, well, we can't really afford a hospital bed. She says, doesn't have to be a hospital bed. Could be in her own bed. I'll do the makeup and I'll sit in and I'll write the letter and I'll cough and things like that. I went, yeah. Let's film it anyway.
It would have been too. It would have been too stereotypical, I think, if she was a hospital bed, because quite a lot of people would just be at home and be ill. So it was quite nice that she was wrapped up in her own bed, writing the letter, because she was probably thinking about him and all the times they spent in that room together. So yeah, it worked.
I mean, there was another scene with Danny where it's Steve and Danny leaves the club and he sort of puts his jacket round her. It's dead of night, it's cold, puts his jacket to show, like, don't be cold and things like that. And I wish we'd filmed that properly, because I know we did it during the day, because obviously Danny's availability at the time was she couldn't do night shoots, which we tried to accommodate. But changing the colouring of the scene, it didn't quite work. I know Danielle tried, but we couldn't make that bit work, so that bit was cut out. But I really wanted that in because I kind of wanted to show like the two of them were sort of connecting. But if anything, that beautiful end scene where they're in the club together, just everyone's up and about dancing and they just sort of sat on the sofa, in the thing. But that was a funny scene to film, because I remember Steve was into photography at the time and Danny had just started modelling, and he says like, and so I was like, just have a conversation, just have any conversation about anything, because the audio won't be put in the film. And Danny was like, oh, I work as a model. And Steve's like, oh, yeah, no, I work as a photographer. So you ever need any shoots doing,
It was so awkward.
It was funny. So you can hear us all laughing in the background. It was quite funny.
It was probably my second favourite scene to film after the one where they're arguing in the flat, and neither of them the sound was used, and I think that's what made it funny, because what was being said was utterly ridiculous and hilarious, but then when you see it looks like they're having a really nice conversation or just having an argument, but what was being said was just stupid. It was stupid.
It was just random rubbish. Yeah.
Oh dear, it was.
I mean, what was your favorite? Like I was going to say, what was your favorite bit on set, Danny? Because I know that there was only like 3 scenes that you were in. You were sort of in the beginning, the middle, and the end. But was there a particular favorite one that you had on?
My favorite scene that we filmed?
Yeah.
I love the canteen scene, like the cafe bit at the beginning, because it kind of just like sets it opens it up quite nicely, like it sets the mood.
Yeah.
But not even that. I just felt when I watch it back, I really like my acting in that scene. Like it is quite natural and stuff, and I hate watching myself. I'm one of these actors that cringe. Like I literally sometimes I just go like that. I'll be doing it through Flower Boy when that's out. I'll literally not even watch it because I can't do it. I'm really weird.
She was a bully. She plays a bully in this film, Tom. That's an audience's. And like Danny's such a lovely and wonderful personality. I can't see her as a bully. So when I'm watching it, I'm just gonna be like, Danny, what are you doing?
I'm so horrible in it, and it's so cringy because some of the stuff I had to do in that film was like I had to do method acting to get into that mindset because I couldn't act it. I couldn't do it because it was just so hard. So I had to train myself in a way to make myself into a bully and enjoy doing it, and it's ridiculous. Like I just can't. But I did it and I managed it. But when I watch it back, I'm like, that is so believable and it's making me cringe. So I'm just gonna be like, oh no, I'm such a cow. I'm just gonna hide at the table.
She's saying all that, but actually it was just how she really is. She's pretending it was all an act, but
deep down.
No, anyway, going back to that canteen scene, I agree with you about that probably being the better one, because it gave a bit of an idea of who Holly was as a character, because you see her and she's kind of dressed smart and she's getting a drink to go, so she's clearly a busy woman, and I think that was good that you got a bit of her background story, because obviously it's not about her, but then when you see them at the end and they're in the club, if you just had those sort of scenes, you won't find out anything about her.
Yeah.
So it was a nice scene.
As well as when where Steve sees her for the first time, like, you know, before they go to the club, and she's all dressed in that beautiful dress, and he's like, "Hey, you okay? Yeah, you look." Wow. we had a running joke on set, Tom, where so in the line was you look lovely, because it mirrored when he meets Amelia for the first time to say you look lovely. But Steve said, can I just change that line because I don't really particularly like it and it copies. And I went, yeah, go for it. And he just said, you look, wow. And he did it like Owen Wilson, and it became a recurring thing that every time we were with Steve on set from then on, we just go, wow.
He still says it like all the time. I get random Snapchats and he'll be talking about someone, he'll turn around and he'll just do that, and I'm like, oh my God, Steve, all the time. That's you know, however many years on, he's still. But yeah, I think it was good that you noticed that, because I think he'd said lovely a couple of times, and lovely's like, not everyone says, quite, I don't know, a posh word. A posh word, but he said, you know, I don't say lovely because I sound like an idiot when I say it. So I think it was the same for him. It was like, yeah, he needed another word to describe her, and she looked wow. So that fit.
Yeah, exactly. I love what you were saying, Danny, about earlier. You were saying obviously like you don't normally watch your scenes like you do cringe, but in that particular scene, you know, it's nice to hear that you could sort of watch it and think it was more natural, because that's kind of what we were going for in direction, is that I wanted these characters to act natural, like human beings, because, you know, you can tell on films when they look so fake. So I wanted that real interaction between characters. You know, so like if any of you had said like, can we change this line? Can we add this bit? Or can I try this? I'm always open to that, because I want it to feel more real. I want people to watch it and think that these are characters they can relate to.
Yeah. No, it definitely was nice to watch, because there's a lot, like, don't get me wrong, like, a lot of the work I've done has been really good, but I've always been like my own worst critic, and when I watch myself, I'll be in a really bad mood if it's rubbish, and I'm like, I've done this to myself. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I'm not happy with the work I've done, it'll show in my mood, and I'm like, because I'm such a perfectionist, everything needs to be perfect. Like, I've been spending lockdown learning my scripts and nailing the characters, so when I come out, I'm ready. You know, when we come out of lockdown, I'm ready to start filming, I'm ready to start rehearsing or whatever. But like, it throws you off a little bit when you don't have that time normally, when you're working like 40 hours a week and stuff, and you're like, oh my God, I need to do the script, and you know, it is quite hard. But yeah, when I watched that scene, I just felt it was just nice. But Holly's a really nice character, and I always get cast as a bad guy, like, or someone that's not as nice, like, or there's something, I don't know, like, bad about them. But with her, she was completely innocent, and it's just nice to kind of play something that's more like it's a bit different to what you're usually used to doing. So, but I love being an auntie. I love it.
Holly's quite similar to you, isn't she? So it was almost like you fit into the role, because you were almost playing yourself, you know, just a nice all-rounded character, you know.
Well, that's how I wrote it as well, because I remember in the original script Holly wasn't originally in the script, but I was given advice saying, maybe, like, is there something that could get Steve's character to, you know, actually, you know, get out of this rut that he's in, that he feels so enclosed. Like, is there some like another female protagonist to help him? And I sort of wrote it, and sort of thought, you know, Danny's always such a positive person. Like, so I sort of based it around. So I based it around Danny, and then I thought, would she be free to do it? And then I just messaged Danny and just said, look, I've got this role that that's sort of very much like yourself. And it, you know, there's not a lot of scenes, but it has a big impact in the overall film. And I'd like you to be involved if you are free. And she just said, "Yeah, no, I'd love to do it. I'd love to do it." And then when we did the read through, which is also on YouTube, you can just see like all of us connecting, you know, and how it all works, doesn't it?
Works.
Yeah, because like, what I love in that script read as well is, if you look very carefully, you can see Becca in the top corner of
on
the windowsill of my apartment at the time.
Just there in background.
Just going through it and making sure there weren't any like duplications and all of that lot, and just sat in my little corner. All curled up.
But no, honestly, if I could do it all over again, I would. I'd probably make it longer. I'd have a bigger budget, and
Well, we
'cause
did
have talked
talk
that.
about doing a prequel and a sequel. I mean, because I'd kind of said, would you not want to redo it as a feature film? Obviously, you get a lot of shorts when they're made, and then they get the money and whatever from that and make the full film. But then you'd kind of said you'd rather do a short film sequel and prequel. So we'll see.
I have, like I've got this idea. It's like similar to 13 Reasons Why Series 2, where Clay keeps seeing Hannah everywhere. I've got this idea of what if, Steve and Danny's character are they're in a very serious relationship at this point. It's all going well. They're moving in together. But Steve sort of reached the same point he did with Amelia before he broke up with her. So it's kind of like he doesn't want to, but he keeps seeing Amelia everywhere, like everywhere he passes. So I sort of had this idea of what if, like, he's trying to make this relationship work with Holly, but then he just keeps seeing Amelia everywhere. That kind of like mentally, he's kind of like, oh God, what do I do? Like, and he's sort of arguing with Amelia and stuff like that, and see where it works from there. I was going to call it thinking forward, because it's not about looking to the past; it's looking ahead into the future.
Yeah.
That's the idea I had. But
I definitely think we could always do it, because most of us are going to be able to do it for even next to nothing money, travel and free. We're not going to need loads of props, and because it's in the future, we won't need the same locations, because chances are they've moved into another apartment, so you won't need the old ones, and it would be quite an easy thing. Well, say easy. Filming's not easy, but on the scale of doing stuff, it would be a lot easier.
Well, like I wanted to write some other things in the middle, so I wanted to test my writing and see how I can improve, like I did with Stay Indoors and like I'm doing with my current script and other scripts I've obviously sent you both and all of you at the time. So so maybe there might be a gap where like all of us from thinking back just say, like maybe it's 5 years later after the film and we go, you know what, we need to do a film. Like I know that Danny and I have discussed about we all need to do a film again. Just get together. And I remember jokingly said, well, I had this idea of I wanted to do a film where it involved Danny, Steve, and Sophia as like bank robbers. And it was going to be called Thinking Bank. It's going to be called Thinking Bank. To go and but as like a parody.
Like literally, none of them I could see them as a bank robber unless you're going to put a balaclava over them, because they all look so innocent. So like they'd be the worst robbers.
Well, that's the idea. That's the idea.
They robbery. I'm going to say looking innocent. It's the last thing
I expect. But no, that was a joke idea. But no, honestly, if we're all available and there was a good enough premise, if the script was written and I thought it was all right and everyone else said we like it, then yeah, I'd definitely do a sequel. And if anything, it should be set years after anyway, because I'd like to see what is the after effect of it all. Because in the film, he's supposed to have been with Amelia for years. So at this point, let's set it several years later. What's changed in those years in terms of all of us as filmmakers, as artists, and see where we can go from there.
Yeah, you'll have to make them look older, because none of them have aged at all. So if you were setting this in 5 years, they all still look 12, no offence. But
that's a compliment, if anything. What brand? I want to know. Anyway, sorry, Tom. I feel like we've gone on to a
just ranted.
Like I said, this is probably going to overtake the record for the longest episode. I think last episode we did was an hour and a half. This is now 2:45.
I'm sure you could cut loads of it out. It's fine. It's fine. Just cut all the bits with me out. It's fine.
No.
Yeah.
All the errors out. Yeah.
But no, I think it's gone well enough to me. Just like I don't care about it. Just pop it all on. But I think the only way to end this episode now is after we say thanks to Becky and Danny for coming on. Is
sing a song.
No one wants that. No one. No.
I don't know.
Ending it with, if it plays, it just fits. So yeah, this has been another episode of Good Film Hunting. We've had Harry, we've had Danny, we've had Becca. Tune in next time. Hopefully this will be over and we'll be in the office. If not, we'll probably be doing another Zoom call. So thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.